From the Midwest and the USA to Vancouver and the little LA, she'll be dishing it twice, no matter naughty or nice. You better believe she's a real housewife. It's a very Mary commentary.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of A Very Mary Commentary. I'm your host, Mary Zilba. And once again, we are joined today with Brooke Blushing Bridal. Hello, Brooke.
Cart Confessions. Here we go. I got a lot of names.
Well, yeah. So she's Brooke Blushing Bridal, and she is now doing her segment called Cart Confessions with Brooke. And if you watched the episode last week, you would see that Brooke had on quite a few items because we call her the Amazon lady, because even people in Sephora or in the mall will recognize her. I'm talking like Amazon delivery people will say, "Oh, hey, Brooke, how you doing?" Because she gets so many Amazon deliveries daily. So what's happening, Brooke?
The husband loves that. He just loves it.
How many packages a day do you think you get?
Oh my God, I wish I could put up like a little picture of what happened yesterday. And like, actually, I might put that up. It was quite funny. We were walking up to the door and Todd was like, what in the actual fuck is going on here?
Are you serious?
There was like 8 boxes. I was like, I swear it's cat litter.
Oh my God. So every day Brooke gets a ton of packages delivered. So I said to her, well, why don't you just tell everybody on the podcast, like, some of your favorite things, because I know so many influencers do that and make a lot of money doing it, by the way.
I just love talking about it.
Yeah, but you always have so many great, cool things. And I was like, why don't you tell people about these things? They're so fun.
It is so fun. Yeah. Shopping is fun, people. Get on board.
Shopping is fun. Okay,
so fun.
So last week we talked about this curling iron that you've got, not really a curling iron, but one that does both curling iron and a straightener kind of at the same time. Yes. Then you had on the garlic roller.
That's the best. That's a staple.
Yeah, the garlic cone, which is
the cone.
And then you had on the squeegee.
Yes.
Like what did you call it? Like the sink squeegee.
The kitchen sink squeegee. Also, did you watch the Victoria's Secret fashion show on the side note?
I did not, but I saw a ton of people posting about it.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're bringing it back again.
I know.
It's an iconic thing every year to watch, right?
I know. Yes, this is what the Victoria's Secret models use.
Really?
To get their teeth whiter.
I used to use Marvis, and they have the purple. I think it was whitening.
Yeah. I think it was Adriana that was talking about it. I can't quite remember, but she was like, we all use this. This is what we are using. And I was like, okay.
Okay, so Marvis toothpaste. And what's so great about it?
This one, they're made in Italy. So there's that.
Okay.
And it is a little bit on the pricier side. It's not going to be your like $4 toothpaste. A lot of people already know about this brand, but if you haven't tried it and you're hesitant on the price, just go for it. It's worth it. It doesn't taste like chemicals, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's such a good thing. Because I always feel like toothpaste sometimes is overtly like minty. Where, it's not the first thing you want to taste in the morning. Yeah. So I have used that before. That's a great find. That's a great call.
So good. Yeah, and I didn't even realize it was on Amazon until I saw it. And
it is on Amazon. So Amazon, the Amazon woman. So Marvis.
Yes.
Toothpaste on Amazon, and I know they have different kinds of it too, like for different they do whitening, and then there's like the regular like toothpaste with fluoride, I think, although fluoride's getting a bad name these days. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, what were they saying? They're just like, it's, I don't know. When
I was a kid you had to get fluoride. Now they're like, oh, fluoride's not really good for you, and you really shouldn't get fluoride anymore. So
what can we get? Like, they tell you tomatoes are healthy for you, and then the next day they're killing you.
Then exactly. Like, you just can't win. No. The Dr. Atkins diet was supposedly great. Dr. Atkins died from a meat overdose. Like, it's just like, it's always something. Okay, so what else you have?
What do we got? I really wanted to talk because you were like, oh, you look tanned, and I'm like,
why do you look so freaking tan? I don't understand. I'm down here in Palm Springs and you look tan.
That's why I have to be tan, because we are looking gray and pasty up here in Vancouver. Okay.
Right.
We're trying not to feel depressed. So the first thing, I've been using this for a long time, and this is probably why I have some color on my face. is the Nuda face tan water. I don't know if you can see.
What is that?
So it's a face mist, and it is so good. I've gotten men on this. Todd uses this. Some other guys have been like, it's actually changed my complexion. It's got like hyaluronic acid in it, and it comes in light, medium, and dark. I go with dark because I'm crazy, but I want to be dark. If I'm going to put on,
That's why you got the tan.
here you go.
Dude, that's why you
Yeah.
have the pretty tan.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it smells so good. And you just like, I do like 3 or 4 like mists of it because like I just want to, if I'm going to do it, I'm doing it. I'm going for it. But
So what, you shut your eyes and just
exactly.
spray it?
Yeah. Yeah. I think they have brushes as well that you can apply it with, but I just got the Tarte brush off of Amazon as well, not
Wait,
just Sephora. And I
wait,
just like,
so wait, so tell me again, what do you, so you spray it on your
yeah.
face?
So I do like 3 or 4 mists, and then I just take this and I blend it all over my face. And then I give it like a minute to dry, and then I apply some moisturizer.
And
And
it's
that's it.
it's like a self tanner.
Yeah. Yeah. You drag it down my neck a little bit as well. So I'm not like white down here, obviously. And I just go
That's
to
so
bed.
cool.
And
And you
wake
get
up.
that Amazon, or do you have to go to Sephora for that?
No, this one is, well, they have their own website. But I got this off of Amazon.
And it's called Nuda.
Nuda. Yes.
Nuda.
And you will love
That's really
it.
cool.
Yeah.
I would love to try something like that.
Yeah, you would like this. I think for you, maybe go medium because like I go kind of extreme on everything, but
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
medium
you do.
for you.
Well, the thing is, one of the reasons I don't use self tanner, and we have another product next week coming up, which will be really, really good for us to talk about, is I don't use self tanner because I have like some sunspots or freckles.
Right.
I use self tanner, they hug those sunspots and freckles.
And
So
it'll show
they
up.
get darker.
Yeah.
Like I
That's
want something that's gonna even tone everything. I don't want anything that's gonna be like, making whatever melanin you've got, it makes it darker.
yeah, that
If you've
does
got
happen.
any kind of freckles, then it goes darker. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so then yeah, we need to see that next time because we need
Yeah.
that.
So it's more like makeup versus self tanner.
Okay, yeah. And this,
So,
yeah, that's good though. We want that if you want to cover it. But
yeah.
I mean, this is kind of nice. I'm at the age where I need makeup, obviously, but if you are lucky enough to not have to wear makeup, just applying this product, you could probably just walk out the door and feel good about yourself. So
Okay, I'm gonna get some of that. I'm gonna try that. I can use that on my face because I don't
yeah.
have any real dark spots on my face, I don't think.
Well, yeah, and they also have the tanning serum. So it's just like it's an oil, kind of like it's like an oil-based serum.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so if you don't want to
So
use
what do you do? Just put it in your hands and put it on
yeah.
like that?
Yeah, if you're really experienced, you're just going to want to just apply it on your face and then you can put on moisturizer. But if you're not, probably mix it in with your moisturizer just to be safe and make sure you get it in everywhere. But
Dude, that's really good.
yeah,
I
same
love
company.
that.
Yeah, same company, Nuda. But I just prefer this. I just like to go and
But
call
what
it.
does it get on your eyebrows?
You know what? No, I haven't noticed anything. Maybe it does, but I don't know. Do they look orange?
Hey, your eyebrows are looking good, girl. Okay, all right. Well, that's great.
Yes, yeah. So that's how I look tan. Oh, and you're also asking, this is just Sephora, but I put this on my cheeks. This is the Makeup by Mario. It's the soft sculpt transforming skin enhancer.
Oh, I have some of
good.
that. That's great. That is
It's
some good
so
stuff.
Yeah, with the brush, but you got to get the brush with it. But this is Sephora in color medium. Oh my God, it's so good. I love it. I'm
You
obsessed
use
with
it
it.
as a contour stick or you use it just for all over like face color?
I'm just using it just like on the forehead and then on the cheeks just to like make it look like I'm not living in gray Vancouver.
And then there's that.
I mean, it's beautiful here when it's sunny.
Oh, as always, someone says,
Yeah.
oh, just come to Vancouver in the summer, it's summertime and spring, and it's beautiful. But
Yeah.
in the other parts
I
of the
know.
year, not so great.
Well, you're so lucky. You get to see the sun like almost every single day now.
Well, I'm still back and forth, but
That's
yeah, it's
true.
kind of nice to have a little bit of both. That's for
I
sure.
know.
Yeah.
Well, at least we got this when we're not actually together, we can Zoom.
Yeah, dude. Okay, anything else? Or is that it?
Yeah, this one I really wanted to talk about. I know everyone's doing those red light therapy masks, you know, the $400 or $500 ones.
Yeah, I see everybody doing those.
Yes, I actually do want one. I haven't got one yet. There's so many benefits of red light therapy, but I think that Todd will probably freak out if he walks into the room and I'm wearing this giant mask. And I don't really love the idea of having a giant mask on my face. So I started off small and I went with something called the Solo Wave. It's from Amazon. And what I love about this is
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
it's travel size. So I can literally just take this anywhere with me. And that's the red light
Did
on it.
how many did you use it every day?
I've been using it every day for about a month. So I'm not really at the point where I can tell you like results or anything. I think you're supposed to use it probably like for 3 to 4 before you start to see anything. But I just love
And you
that
put
so
like some serum on with it, right?
exactly, yes. Just so it kind of glides when you're doing it. And it feels good. I just do it when I'm watching like, you know, Housewives.
And that is supposed to do what? Like get rid of like is it for lines and wrinkles? Is it for
Yes. Yeah.
okay.
Collagen production, lines and wrinkles, all sorts of good stuff for red light therapy. I just give me whole body red light therapy. Just
You know what I always think is that, you know, like years and years from now, like in the next couple, like 100 years, people are going to look back and go, I can't believe that those people used to use like masks with like red lights on them and they had boob implants and they have silicone bags everywhere. And I mean, it's going to be so archaic. Probably kids are going to figure all this stuff out. You're going to take a pill and your skin's going to just go whoop, and it's going to all look tight. And, you know, we don't have
They're
to
gonna be like, were those people okay?
yeah, they're gonna be like, what the hell? Like it was like, yeah, like torturing ourselves. Like I think about all the skincare stuff that they do now, like
Yeah,
micro needling, and where you're actually putting needle. I mean, like
it's
rolling
wild.
needles onto your face. Oh
Yeah.
man. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, it's
I'm not gonna
crazy.
say I haven't tried some of that stuff,
I
but it's painful. And I think one day they're gonna figure it out, you know, where
Yeah,
you're
they're gonna think we're crazy. Well, so what
yeah.
are they doing now? They're doing the salmon injection into your face.
Yeah, I want to try that.
You do.
Try
You're like,
that.
I want to try it. I want to be one of those people everyone makes fun of in 40
I
years.
know. I'm going to just go down in flames on that one. No, I love the Korean market, man. The
Yeah, I
Koreans,
know.
they come up with some good stuff.
Yeah, they got it going on for sure. Like they know what
Yeah.
they're doing.
So
Yeah.
that salmon egg thing or
Yeah.
salmon sperm, it's not salmon eggs.
Oh, you lost me at sperm.
Yeah, salmon sperm, and they inject it underneath your skin apparently.
Wild. Wild.
And it's supposed to like promote collagen growth and all that stuff. But
Dude, I'm gonna let you be the guinea pig on that one for me, okay?
oh, can you imagine? I bruise just like when a Botox needle goes in. I'm
Oh,
just a bruiser. I can't, if I had
yeah.
anything done, you'd know because I bruise, I
Yeah.
have a bruise.
You'd
Like
have to hide for
some
weeks.
people don't bruise. Like I know people who could get needles in their face all day long and there's not one bruise.
And they're
If I
fine.
just even come near a needle, just one needle comes near me, I'd
You
bruise.
think about a needle and you're covered in bruises.
Yeah. Okay, well, these were some great things that you brought today.
Yeah,
We
the
think
Solo Wave. I'm
leave it-
telling you, this is perfect for travel. Just whatever you want to do. It's so
Solo
easy.
Wave. It's called Solo Wave?
Yes, yeah. I actually like it's got one full cycle you do and then it'll shut off. I just do it twice because I'm like, what's it gonna hurt? It's fine. So yeah, just do
Well,
do
you
it
know
twice.
what? I mean, I think what we're going to end up doing here is, I mean, Brooke's going to come on every episode with her cart confessions with some new finds, but I think we're going to do a couple of maybe episodes on just all cart confessions because it's so fun.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Amazon.
And we could just get a couple of girlfriends together to go, okay, what's your new find? What's your new find? What's your new find?
Absolutely.
And then, I mean, that would, because everybody's always trying new stuff and it's nice to, you know, to do it all, like everybody show us your secrets.
Yeah, because you're in that Instagram rabbit hole on social media and it's just, there's things being thrown at you constantly, right?
I mean, dude, you know what, truth be told, you could, if you keep looking at social media, you end up spending hundreds of dollars a month on stuff that people go, oh, it was so good. It was so great. It was, I want to talk about like what's good and what's bad.
And it lives rent free in your brain until you hit the button in your cart confession and move on and hope it's not sold out. Which, why does it always surprise me when something's sold out when it's been sitting in there for like 400 years?
I know it's true. And then they'll move on to something else and you're like, oh shit, man, I've got 25 foundations sitting on top of my dresser. I don't even like half of them because somebody said they were so awesome.
Exactly. You're like, this is not awesome. It's
Yeah,
not-
this is not. This is not. Okay. Well, Brooke, thank you so much.
A very, very commentary.
We are doing an introduction today because, as I've mentioned before, the podcast is going to be more of a magazine style podcast. And so we have Brooke doing her Heart's Confessions every week. And we also now have one of my best friends for over 30 years, Shauna Bryan. And Shauna is coming on to do her segment, which is probably one of the greatest segments because for me and for so many of my friends and women everywhere, it's really about life in the second half. Women over 40, 45, and how we cope with all kinds of things. So, welcome, Shauna.
Thank you very much. Yeah, this is super exciting. I'm very excited about your new podcast, and even being on it for this segment is great.
Tell everybody what your new segment is about.
All right, so we are calling it Midlife Remix, and the whole idea is that during this time frame, there are so many things that we all relate to, we're having to juggle, and it's really in your hands in terms of how you want to mix it up, how you want to do things, how you want to design the second half of your life. And so some of the things that we're going to be talking about are adult children, aging parents. What do we want to do with our own careers, our own health, our own goals, our dreams? Like now that we've raised children or gone through the first half of our life, what do we want to do with all this experience that we now have, and look forward and, do the rest of it.
Yeah, and it's such a good subject because all of us talk about things like even our kids we're constantly talking about, even though they're adults now, we're kind of like, oh my Lord, they need this, they need that. And then if they don't call, then I'm like sad because I don't hear from them. And then there's also the midlife dating. And all of us
Oh,
know a lot of men and women that are dating, over 45, 50, 60, 70, 80. And that's the Wild West out there.
that is a Wild West. That convenient that I forgot about that one, because that is definitely in our conversations and in my life for sure. So
Yeah.
yes, that's going to be there. And but the first one, and I'll let you take it from here, but the first one is a really exciting topic that you and I have been talking about personally, but you go.
Yeah, okay, so the topic we've been talking about a lot, which is now in the news quite a bit, and was a word or a subject that was quite taboo as far as I have known, and that is the M word, menopause. So it was always something that I don't remember my mother talking about it. I don't remember my grandmother talking about it. I don't remember any of my friends really talking about it until recently. We've all started the conversation to talk about the fact that it's real. Our eggs are drying up. And well, seriously, our eggs are drying up. Men, they get to procreate long into, their entire life. But when those eggs dry up and we don't have those luscious hormones on board,
Hormones.
there are repercussions to our health, and that we have to sit there with the brain fog. We have to sit there with the moodiness. We have to try to figure out the hot flashes.
The hot
Um,
flashes, the muscle aches, the night sweats,
the skin thinning.
oh yeah, and the hair getting all brittle, and just the lackluster of it all, just feeling tired, low energy, apathetic, your sex drive goes way down. All of those things, and just not really understanding what's even happening to you. Because, going to your point of people don't talk about it, I knew my mom was in menopause because she told me. We had a 5-minute conversation, and in that conversation, I knew she was on antidepressants, but that was it.
Wow.
I never knew anything else. My sister went into perimenopause. Obviously, I knew a little bit more about that, about, her just getting suddenly really hot in the middle of the day and all of that stuff. But really, those are the most conversations that I've had until now, where is there something you can do about it? What's happening? Your hormone levels are depleting. What are they supposed to be? Is there
Yeah, all
something
this stuff
you
is
can do?
happening to us. I'm going to give you a little bit of um, story. So, someone I know well, everybody pretty much knows it, but my ex-husband has prostate cancer. He got prostate cancer at a young age, and he had to be put on androgen deprivation therapy because prostate cancer feeds off of testosterone. So they deplete a lot of the testosterone, or if not most of it, so that the cancer doesn't have time to mutate and move along. So he started losing his testosterone. And because of losing his testosterone, he got hot flashes. He cried a lot, emotional. Um, uh, he had all kinds of aches and pains, and bone density was going down. So he actually said to me, I will always, always respect a woman going through menopause, because he had it and he had it
He
quickly.
experienced it.
Menopause.
Which
Okay.
actually is a thing. Like, you're not necessarily even just making that up, but it is the second half of people's lives. And we should talk about the fact that there is a documentary that we're both really excited about. I haven't seen yet, but it just came out last week. So we're gonna watch that, and then come back and talk about that afterwards, and just sort of the information that we learned, and comparing with the stuff that we've already been going down, or finding out about ourselves, and just how it relates to us, and what we think about, so really excited about watching this one.
Yeah. And so the movie or the documentary is called The M Factor. It's on PBS, and I'm sure it's streaming. So anybody who wants to check it out, apparently it's phenomenal. And Shauna and I are also going to be having Cart Confessions Brooke, the Amazon woman herself, who would like to also be involved on this subject. So we are going to do a little switcheroony, and we're going to get Brooke on the podcast to talk about her journey with perimenopause. So thank you, Shauna, and I will see you in just a little bit when we have Brooke on the podcast.
A very merry commentary.
Okay, welcome back, everybody, to the Very Merry Commentary podcast. And as promised, after the amazing Cart Confession segment, we now are moved on to our next segment, which is called Midlife Mixup, or Remix, whatever you want to call it. And who is going to be in charge of this segment is none other than one of my best friends, Shauna Bryan. Welcome, Shauna.
Aw, thank you. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Brooke.
Okay, so now in Midlife Mix-Up, Shauna's segment, she will be coming back every episode to talk about life in midlife. So life
And
in
what that means.
midlife, and
Yeah.
how fun it really is.
So
True.
No.
Yeah, you say that so genuinely.
So there's so many subjects, with regards to midlife, and so many important things that we all go through. So we want to tackle every subject eventually about midlife that we possibly can. And today, we are going to be talking about the M word. And the reason we're talking about the M word is because there is a special documentary that will be airing tonight, October 17th, called The M Factor. And Shauna, I'm going to let you tell everybody what the M Factor, the M word, means.
All right. Well, like we said, menopause, but it's called the M factor because it is something that typically we have not talked about for decades. It's really just been, okay, you're 13, you expect to get your period. You've got your childbearing years, you have we talk about the hormonal changes of those stages of life, but we do not talk about the hormonal stages of the change, and really that's the last, like, not even the last story, that's the back half of our lives, and it's such a huge phase that we just don't, until now, thankfully, we are starting to talk about it. So this documentary, The M Factor, is really important because it is trying specifically to start shaking those conversations loose. It is also one of the first documentaries, if not the first documentary, that has been sanctioned by doctors. And they're really making a big push for women to watch it, start asking questions, start questioning how they want their menopausal life to be and what we can do about it.
Yeah, and it's great to open up this conversation because I'm the oldest of the three here.
You would never
And
know.
so we do have Brooke back. Brooke is obviously younger than us, or maybe, we all know that she's younger than us,
Just
but
a little bit.
she so Brooke is back because Brooke is also having her kind of day with menopause because she's in perimenopause,
Mhm.
right?
Yes, yes, I'm there. Yeah, I'm like getting hotter at night. I don't know if I'm in the hot flashes, but I'm noticing all sorts of changes. And my mother actually went into menopause quite early. I believe it was like early, like 40s. So for me, I should be getting there soon. But you definitely notice all the changes, and you think maybe the changes are normal, or you just think it's, oh, you're tired, or it's this, or it's food, it's diet, it's whatever. But you don't get a lot of information on how to deal with it. Where do you go? What should you be taking? You hear vitamin D, B12, but you're lost, right? I'm just starting to look into it now.
And
And they say,
thankfully, right? Thankfully that this is coming out into the
Mhm.
open now, because I know most women suffer in silence with
Yeah,
menopause, and you don't even know why you're having these hot flashes at first, and you're losing
yeah,
all of those luscious hormones that help your skin stay like nice
Your
and
hair.
supple,
Healthy.
and
Mhm.
you start going through so many different changes, mood
Yeah,
swings, brain fog, it just goes on and on, but we're never talking about it. No, it's
yeah.
just like, oh, mom's awful today. Well, mom has a freaking reason why I'm
Yeah,
awful
there's a
today, okay?
reason.
There's a
And
tornado inside of us.
yeah, there's a reason why we're forgetting things and we have a
Mhm.
little bit of a brain fog and all the rest of it. And also the other part of it is that it's really something that we're starting to talk about, but it's kind of a wild west in terms of like everybody's different experience, the information that's out there. There's not a clear path towards
No,
what you should be doing. You
No, and you know what? I've
so
been
much.
in menopause for quite a while, and I never went to get any HRT, hormone replacement therapy. I've never done anything like that because there was this myth
Mm,
that it causes breast cancer, those
right.
kinds of treatments
Oh, so
cause
that
all
is
kinds of
it.
other cancers in your body. And so it's interestingly enough that this documentary is going to talk about those things. And Shauna, you and I were talking about this weeks and weeks ago,
Yeah.
and you just recently today came back
Yeah.
from your HRT doctor and have some news for us, which is really exciting.
Yeah, we want to
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So literally just went today. 2 weeks ago, I went to an actual HRT doctor, had my blood drawn to check all my levels. Good news is that my liver, my kidneys, and my blood are all normal. So that is a good thing just across the board. But so this was super interesting. So levels, there's obviously your estrogen, there's progesterone, there's DHEA, which is related to cortisol, and then there's your testosterone.
And
Oh,
testosterone, people are like, what? I don't
I
Yeah.
know,
want
What? I
I
would
know.
be
It's like,
right?
yeah, why do women have to
Mhm.
have testosterone? And it's actually one of the most important hormones in our body. Obviously, estrogen is huge.
Interesting.
We talk about that, we know about that, but we don't actually know so much about testosterone. So here are my results. So um,
Shauna's results.
estrogen,
Drum roll.
I know it is a drum roll. My estrogen should be at 50 to 100 at this age. And I did actually start on, through my GP, I started on Prempro, which is a certain kind of estrogen and combined with progesterone. So I actually improved a little bit since July, but I am at 24 and I should be at 50 to 100. And by the way, just as a comparison, when you're in your childbearing years, your ovarian cycles, you're at like 500.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Oh,
so at
wow.
this
Oh,
stage, we should be at 50 to 100. I'm at 20.
ooh.
Testosterone, crazy. I was shocked by this number. You're also supposed to be at 50 to 100. I was at 4, single digits, 4. So, and by the way, your testosterone is huge. It's your sex drive, it's your energy, it's your anxiety, it's your lean muscle mass, it's your mood swings, it's all of that. So it is a huge hormones so for that to be as low as it is, we're just like, oh, okay, got to get on that.
Wow. Now I have an excuse for
Okay.
the way I behave.
Yeah.
And then the DHEA, which is cortisol, I was not surprised that this was low. So immediately the doctor was just like, okay, what we're gonna do. And I went into this appointment knowing that I wanted to get off the Prem Pro, the combination, and I wanted to split the estrogen and the progesterone.
Well, there's a bioidentical. So what you were on before was not bioidentical hormones,
right.
right?
Yeah, it was synthetic, and Prem Pro
Synthetic.
is actually the one, I shouldn't say the one, but what I was told by my doctor was that it is one of the ones that will, by a very minuscule amount, but it will potentially raise the risk of having breast cancer. So I wanted to go
Oh.
on to a bioidentical one, and then definitely wanted to have progesterone separate because you take that at night. It helps you sleep, makes you tired, all of those good things. And estrogen is something that you get throughout the day. Ultimately, you're trying to emulate a woman's cycle, as it would be naturally.
See,
So,
Brooke, this is so good for you because you're learning it before it actually happens.
You know, well, I heard you say anxiety in there, and I heard you say insomnia, and those are definitely things that have trickled in to my life over the past few years. And you kind of wonder what's happening here. Where is that coming from? What is that?
Mhm.
Maybe that is part of it, right? So it's good to know you don't know this information until you start talking to people and who have,
Yeah, and you just think you're having a bad day. You
yeah.
think I'm just tired today, or we just power through. We don't actually stop to think, oh, okay, now like, yes, all right, we're in menopause officially when we have gone for an entire year without having a period. That we know. But you
Mhm.
don't
Mhm.
actually start thinking about beyond, I'm going to maybe experience this list of symptoms. You don't
Yeah.
really start thinking about, okay, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
Go get your level. I mean, I've been officially and been in menopause, since September of 2019. I'm
Okay.
only now going to get my levels checked, thinking about
Yeah,
what,
because we had heard so many things, so many bad things about any kind
Yeah.
of HRT. Um, and then Brooke, you had said to me at one point that your um, obstetrician or gynecologist wants you to go continues with your IUD because
Yeah.
that should help you bridge from peri to menopause, right?
She did. Yeah. I'm on my second round of having an IUD in, and I kind of just thought, what my age do I even really need to have one in? I thought
right.
of potentially taking it out. And she said, if I were you, I would not. She goes, so many of my patients come in here putting them in to help with the symptoms of going into menopause, because apparently your periods can get really, really heavy, and there can be all sorts of other things that affect you right before you're about to be in menopause. And
Hmm.
she says this really helps with the effects of that. So I had no idea about this. I was like, okay, well, I'll keep it in, because if it's going to get worse if I take it
Did,
out, then no thank you.
and did
Yeah.
she say how long you need? It's just to help bridge the transition. So once you're actually in menopause, that's when you would have it removed, or?
That's kind of the impression I had. I didn't really go to much of a deep dive into the conversation, but she
Right.
did say, keep it in for now if I were you. If you feel like this is what you're going to be doing going into menopause, she goes, this will help. Because I said the periods are a bit funny, whatever. Nothing's working anymore. It's like,
Right, right.
keep it in because people are coming in constantly, and I'm putting them in for them, not
To
because
just
of
help with it, not because
help with
of
that.
not wanting to get
Yeah.
pregnant, but because of
Exactly.
this.
Yeah, they're saying it's
Interesting.
helping a lot.
Well,
Okay.
you know what? There's so many different things that happen with the depletion of all these hormones too that we're not even talking about. I mean, then there's,
Mhm.
not only is there the brain fog and the skin getting crepey and yeah, and the no sleep, insomnia is a big thing. And then
Yeah.
there's the whole sexual factor.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Um, and that's another thing that's kind of taboo to talk about is
Yeah, how dare
what
you, Mary?
happens to a
Why bring
woman.
this up? No, I'm just kidding.
What
Sorry.
happens to a woman?
Why are you
Her
being
libido.
taboo?
What happens to her libido? Shauna, you go.
You can
Oh,
tell.
Lord. Okay, well, I'm for testosterone here. No, actually, to be honest with you, I will say when the doctor gave me my results and went through that, I actually had this wave of relief just wash over me because I
Oh,
literally did just think there was something wrong with me. I thought maybe I was just
yeah.
overstressed, not thinking about it past the point. I mean, I am, I think, the only single person in this group at this stage. But sex drive doesn't know you don't have a partner, so
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
you know, so yeah, it was a huge wave of relief where I was like, okay, there's not anything actually wrong with me. Now I understand.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Because
it's
you
such,
feel young, right? You feel young
yeah,
inside your mind, but your body's doing things that are telling you
yeah,
otherwise.
exactly. And that's the other thing. Thank you for saying that, because that's the other thing is that, you know, when Mary and I were talking a couple of weeks ago, when I was going to see the doctor the first time, she specifically said, ask him when when you get out of menopause. So I did. And he said, you know, you never get out of menopause. It's perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, but you're in it for the rest of your life. That's a
It's
huge
called
thing.
menopausal deterioration.
And then they
I've
don't
just
talk
made
about
that up. Yeah.
I like
No,
it.
I mean, clearly, if you're in it for life, it's part of the whole aging,
That's a huge
It's
chunk
a
of your
deterioration.
life.
mass, yeah, and it's a
What?
massive phase of our lives to not have any guidance and not have any
Right.
medical roadmap that has been well researched. I mean,
Yeah, that's crazy to think about that actually. That's
yeah, when you
crazy.
think about it, we just have not, we've just been going along, you know, sort of being heard urban legends or
Mm.
myths or whatever it is, things being passed on like hush hush under the table, whatever it is. And thank goodness, you know, now there's that backlash where women, there's almost an outcry of like, no, like we want to know what's going on. We want to
Yeah.
talk about this.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah,
great.
and it goes so
We're happy
much
about this.
deeper than just, just talking about menopause too, because there's so many things that a woman feels. So almost like you're unnoticeable after a certain age. And because you're having all these issues with your hormones and going through menopause, you're going through so many mental issues as well, where men they don't
They
have
don't
self-esteem issues and things where we know we're
Something
aging, we know
changes.
we
Yeah.
don't look as youthful in a youth-oriented society too. It makes it very hard to be aging.
Yeah. They just get some gray hair and they look more handsome and they move on with their day. We're going,
Yeah, why is that?
where is he
Why
now?
is
Well,
that?
hey, Mary, we just saw Eliza Schlesinger. Remember? She had a very good theory on that one.
I
Mhm.
loved her. She was
Yeah, she was
amazing.
so good. So, so good. But no, but she basically said that biologically, I mean, now again, this is a comedian, but obviously she has, like us, you know, she
Yeah.
goes into all these kind of things. But it is biologically men are able to have children at a much older age. So, you know, they get all the attributions that are still attractive, that they're not past their prime. So to
No.
And they go through the midlife crisis.
Oh yeah. Get that Porsche. You get that
that fast
car.
I mean,
car.
come on, we don't get that card, the midlife crisis. We're not even
We get
allowed to have a
menopause.
midlife crisis.
No, we
Yeah,
get hot.
exactly.
We get hot.
Yeah, we get the hot,
And
but
not in the good way.
we're
And
Not
really
in the
going
good
through
way.
the real crisis. The crisis is our bodies are shutting down and all of our hormones. We should be having the crisis.
they need to buy us the Porsche.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
But anyway, I am super, super glad that this documentary is coming. I'm so happy that we're having this conversation, and it's
Mhm.
only part of what we're going to be talking about on a regular basis. You know, all these things
Yeah.
that we're touching on of just a woman's experience in life, midlife, onwards, kids, aging parents, our own physical health, our careers, our hopes, wants, needs, desires. What are we doing with this, you know,
Mhm.
back?
Yeah, and I
back
love
our
this
life?
segment so much because I think every woman wants to talk about some of the things that we're going to tackle, like
Mhm.
open, honestly talking about, things that happen in the midlife. Like I know I've been going through a lot with the loss of my mother and then aging parents. We are all going through it at the same time.
We're
And
all
not
going
only
through
just
it.
us three, but I also know tons of other people where you're
Yeah.
trying to start your own life after children, and yet now you're in a sandwich. They call it the
Caregiver, yeah.
sandwich
Sandwich of life.
generation,
Yeah.
right? Where we've got kids that need us and we've got parents that need us, and we're also trying to find our own identity still
And take care
after.
of us. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
exhausted
So,
just hearing you describe it. To
but
be
it's true. We're all, I mean, that's a whole nother subject, but to go
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
that conversation about aging parents. And, I know for me, like I've spent for the last 4 years since my mom passed away, I've spent half of my life in Ohio with my
Yeah.
father
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you
and
really
staying in
have.
my old bedroom with still the old furniture there that I had in the 1970s.
And you
You
got
know?
to do it,
And,
right?
and then
Like,
the other quarter of your life is spent up in Vancouver, you know. So
Yeah.
I mean, how I look at it, which I think is a really positive and exciting way to look at it, is that, this is our time to be able to take a moment, pause, and be able to say, okay, I've lived, for 50 years, 45, 55 years, whatever that is. I have all of this experience. I have certain things at my disposal. These are the tools that I can take. I can decide
Mhm.
what I want to do with this other 50 years that I potentially have, or 60 years, or 40, whatever that is, all longevity, another thing for us to talk about. But to really decide what we want to do and how we're going to manage the aging parents, the
And
saddened
make the
parents,
best
and
of
the
it.
children.
Yeah.
Make the best of it,
Yeah.
and how to thrive, not
Yeah.
just survive it, but thrive. So I think that's really important.
Shauna,
Yeah.
you said that you just really started getting into this. You've been going through menopause for a while. What made you go ahead and look into this or get the paperwork,
Oh, you know what?
Great
deep down?
question.
Yeah, that's a really great question. No, thank you. It was a bit of a combination of things. I had some friends of mine who were younger than me, or the same age, but who were on HRT, and just made me start wondering about it. And then also, it was just my own feeling of I was starting to get tired. I was starting to feel depleted. There were still so many things in life that I wanted to do. And I just thought, I need to take hold of this and see
Yeah.
what this is about. For me specifically, something that kind of kicked it off too was I had like an old knee injury that I ended up having to get a knee replacement last year, because I thought, this is the thing that actually is going to kill me, because I can't exercise properly. I can't
Right.
be in shape, all of that kind of stuff. That led me to doing some research, watching a documentary specifically called, You Are What You Eat, which led me to go and get a DEXA scan and look at my body
Wow.
composition, my body fat percentage, my lean muscle mass, my bone density, my visceral fat. I went and got that done in June. So I had the knee replacement, got this DEXA scan done in June, got my numbers. I was not happy with them at all. And I just decided, no, I need to make some real changes here. So
Good for you.
yeah.
And then you do a deep dive and you start
Yeah, you do a
doing
deep
all
dive.
the things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
So
quality
it's
of
good that
life.
I'm on it then now
Yeah,
and do
absolutely.
what I can to help the process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that I can catch up
Yeah.
because I haven't done anything. I've never been on HRT. I just recently started taking quite a few supplements because I followed Dr. David Sinclair in the anti-aging kind of area of medicine. So
Longevity.
so I've been taking like NMN and resveratrol and vitamin D, which my mother always told me to take. And I never
Always take
did.
vitamin D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to really like up the ante in that way. And I can say that because I've never taken supplements, because I've never taken anything like that, I can notice a difference in the supplements that
Oh,
I have been
good.
taking, mainly in my energy, not so
Mhm.
much physically like what I look like, but just in
Okay.
energy. I think I have a lot more energy than I used to.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I will say for me, like, I started taking the Prem Pro a couple months ago, and about a month in, I started feeling happier. That was just sort of my
Good.
general feeling, was feeling happier. Another friend of mine up in Vancouver also said the same thing. I have another really good friend of mine in Calgary who wasn't so sure how she was, whether she was feeling better or not. So I'm super interested to see how I feel now. I have to go back to the doctor 2 weeks from now and, get some more injections, then a month from now to see how I'm feeling. But,
What did they give you as an injection today when you went?
oh, yes, that's right. They got right on it. So they're like testosterone. Yes.
So they gave you an
It,
injection of testosterone today?
yeah, combined with estrogen.
Does it make you feel weird at all, or do you
No,
feel
no,
no?
no. I mean,
Okay.
this was literally just a couple of hours ago, not even.
Okay.
So, we're
Yeah.
So
reporting
you
live
won't
on
be growing
this.
a beard by
No,
tonight.
no, I better not be. And then they also gave me a vitamin injection that was like, let's see, I got the list, but amino acids, a mineral blend, and
I want that.
complex
Well,
vitamins.
that's the other thing, the testosterone. I was joking about the testosterone, but women believe testosterone, but we have testosterone naturally in our bodies.
Absolutely, we do.
So we
Yeah,
You don't
have
think
to
that
have
way.
it.
yeah, yeah. So super interesting, and I'm going to go back. He's now. Interestingly enough, because I know people are going to be saying this when they listen to this podcast, yes, the doctor that I went to was a he. And I do want to touch on that too, about finding a doctor. So we're all interested in the subject. It is actually pretty hard, going back to the Wild West of it all. It's pretty hard to find a doctor. And I definitely wanted a doctor that was a female. but it was really difficult for me to find
find
one.
one.
I found one that was in my area. But she doesn't take insurance. She's like an extra $5,000 a year on top of everything else. She's
Ooh.
also not taking patients right now.
You know, I found
So-
out about that doctor that you're talking about.
Yeah.
She is actually a functional medicine doctor.
Yeah, she is.
Same thing that
Yeah.
I gave you to, that
Mhm.
referral I gave you for that, where they test all
that
your
function,
markers. So
yeah.
she's just not an HRT. She does
No.
pretty much everything.
Yeah, and
But only one of her around, right? There's
Mhm.
not
yeah,
many.
and she's a super interesting type of doctor. And Mary, you should actually talk about the whole battery of testing that you did for functional health. But she, I think, is really interesting. I'm on the waiting list to get into her, but that's a big chunk of change to be able
It
to
really is.
lay
So what
down
I
for.
did was something um the uh the guy at Cleveland, a doctor at Cleveland Clinic, started something called Function Health, and you can get your markers checked, like 130 markers, blood markers. And they took 12 vials once, and then a couple days later, 10 more vials of blood. And they tested all these really, really important markers that your GP just doesn't do, right? They just don't do
Right,
it. It costs too
right.
much money. And this was not really that expensive for what we had. And so it came back with, I ended up having, out of 130 markers, I had 17 that were out of range. A
Okay.
lot of them I knew would be out of range because I've had, some other stuff going on with my heart. So I knew that might be a little bit out of range, but my hormone levels were out of range, which were
Yeah.
out of range for normal, but normal for me
Right.
because of
What does
my
that mean?
age.
Sorry.
So,
Okay.
so because of my age, they were in range, but they're not like,
It was off for what you
they wouldn't be
normally are.
normal for like you, Brooke, because you haven't gone through
Yeah.
menopause yet.
Right.
But
And-
interesting, and that's another whole podcast to talk about function health and what that means, and really trying to take control and advocate for your own health.
Yeah, your own health.
Yeah.
And it's also about not necessarily only achieving the numbers that are normal for your age range or whatever it is. It's about, do you feel okay? Do you feel good? Do you feel great? And you're
Yeah,
trying
it's
to get to
optimal,
health.
optimal,
Yeah.
Listen
optimal
to your
health.
body,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
what is different and how different is it?
Well,
Yeah.
what they want to do, Brooke, is they want to, this particular, and I think a lot of these function health doctors now, they're trying to, like, if you go to a doctor, there's a level that your blood should be at that's of a normal, healthy level, but they're taking the median of like all people. So
Mhm.
what they're doing, these doctors, is they're saying they should be higher. All of these levels should be there lower or higher, but they're looking for those levels to be optimal health, not just, okay, you're in range. They want you to have your blood levels beyond what they would say would be the
Yeah, just the
standard.
median. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there many places to go do this, or is it kind of not a thing? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't think there's a lot, but guess
Yeah.
what? I can send you a code to get yours done.
Thank you. Taking care of your
Anyway, that's a whole subject for a whole different
It is,
for
yeah.
a whole different episode. But we are very excited to watch this movie tonight.
Where
And
is it on again?
it's PBS, so PBS wherever you are, they would have it. Obviously, this podcast is going to air after the show has already been aired
Out
tonight.
there. Yep. Yep.
So we will talk about what we've learned because we're very excited about this. I think it's caused a lot of stir, and the woman who started investigating all of this menopause stuff, she has really grown exponentially, like as far as like her following, and she's been talking to doctors all over the world, and she's made this film about what we should do and what we shouldn't do, and it's the truth of the matter.
Finally,
Yeah.
we need that information. It's all over social media, right? But it's what is right, what is wrong. There's so much noise out there now with all the social media platforms. You don't know.
Yeah, noise is a good word.
You go in circles.
Yeah.
Lost.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm excited about both of your segments. I think it's going to be so great. I love doing a magazine style podcast, something I didn't do on my original old podcast, Eat, Drink, and Be
Yeah.
Merry. But this is going to be so fun. And for Brooke's segment, Cart Confessions with Brooke, we will have up the links to the products that she and I discussed.
So many
And then Shauna, for your segment right now, we don't need any links. However, we will let you know what the name of the M Factor, or how to get to view the M Factor movie. But we will come back next episode to talk about what we learned and continue on the Very Merry Commentary podcast. And I want to thank everybody for listening and for viewing the podcast, if those of you who could view it. And thanks, ladies.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
Shauna,
thank
for all the
you.
information. I
Oh,
need to get rolling on this. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
exciting
this is
stuff.
fun. Good to see you both. And I love the fact that we can
Okay.
do this no matter where we are. It's awesome.
Yeah, we will. We will. Okay. Love you guys.
girls, we'll see you soon.
A very merry commentary.